and that's 6045. And over there is 6053. So over here is 6049 or 6045, which is the same address as over there. So this process of elimination, tell me if I got to the wrong house. I'll come back and make it right. But I was also told that this house had already had the drywall up, and that house doesn't have the drywall up, and that house definitely isn't the right address. So I'm pretty confident. Let's just move on in. We're going to have a doorbell here. This would be the front entry. And just kind of get this out of the way right in the here and now. But a lot of these receptacles, are packed full of insulation. Alright, and I've made a short list of some that I'm going to come back and check. Quite a few actually. So, I might miss one when I come back, but I doubt it. Also, the receptacles, look at this. See how far they're in there? See how far they're recessed? Are they recessed more than 1/8 of an inch? I don't know. That's why we have this little bargain bin tape measure. How about that? That's more like 3/4 of an inch. Receptacles recessed 3/4 of an inch. Can you believe that? Now, I'm not an engineer, okay? So, I use some engineering equipment. I get that. But I'm measuring the floor height elevation differential. I'm not calculating slope. I'm not looking for tolerances. Alright? I'm looking for guidelines. One of the guidelines that I use is no more than 1 inch and 25 feet. And I haven't found that. Another one is no more than 2 inches overall. And 1.9, I think. 1.9. The highest place I found was the southeast. The highest place I measured was the southeast corner of the dining area, right over here. And then the lowest place, actually, was over here in the living room, the southwest corner, southeast and southwest. This is the most difference between these two corners. I was getting about 1/2 inch between these two corners. And those measurements are in between these two measurements. See, because I'm not calculating slope. I'm just an engineer. But the interesting thing is that we've got some measurements. We were able to make some measurements for reference before any floor covering was put in. So that later on, if it ever comes to pass and a structural engineer needs to be called in for a dispute or for some discovery, what happens is the engineers will always say, I don't know how it was as built, unless the builder has some documentation he can share with you before you take possession of the property, because they probably won't keep that type of documentation. I haven't seen any, I'll put it that way. I don't know what happens to it. But you got a pretty good idea. You got almost, but not quite 2 inches over here. You got a 1/2 inch over there, and that 1/2 inch is between those. You can triangulate that, and the engineer would have a better idea about, what he's up against. So we're moving on along. This is the northwest bedroom. And so we're in here, and of course doors aren't installed and all these things. So it's pretty normal, except for the receptacles. I mean, these receptacles are just really bugging me. These outlets, full receptacles and switches. Is that 1/8 of an inch? No, it looks a little like, 3/5 of an inch. Looks a little wider than 1/8 of an inch. Why are all these guys sticking out so much? That's kind of weird. Moving on along, coming in here. Let's see if I can get some light on this subject. This is the guest bathroom. Because we're getting, this piping right here does not have, it's inside the living space. In the attic, it has to be insulated. If this piping was over here on this wall, it would have to be not an exterior wall. It would have to be insulated. But where it is now, that's fine. That's fine the way they did it. Now, I'm going to save something. I'll just kind of take a look here. When am I going to look inside of there? No, that's going to break. I mean, I probably might, but that's going to break off. Electrician will knock that out with a screw hammer. Okay, so that's the northwest, and they got other names for it. They got this will be a bedroom number 1. This will be bedroom number 2. I'm calling this the southwest bedroom. And again, on these walls, not only are they recessed, but they're just full. That's pretty amazing. Double pane vinyl frame. None of the screens. It's too early for screens. It's too early for these kinds of things. I should have been here a week ago before this drywall was up. That would have been nice. But we're finding things. We're lookers. We haven't quit looking. Moving up through the hall. And man, sometimes marriages call these gathering rooms. Sometimes, some other builders call these great rooms. Some people call them living rooms. I'm just not sure. But here it is, and those are the walls that, some of these I'm going to look at. Now this window, the home faces north, so this would be the living room, for lack of a better description. The living room, south wall, west window. The tension rods aren't installed right, okay? And I know that they're going to come in here and get all the windows right. The sales rep will come in, getting everything just perfect for you, that kind of thing, just kind of fussing over things. And so we don't really get excited about the windows like this. I mean, it'll make the report, and they, so that way it will never fall between the cracks. But, it's not like a great amount of discovery here. Just kind of looking around, kind of seeing. I'm a looker. So we're going to have like a galley kitchen here. And what I'm not seeing, is I'm not really seeing the plumbing for pattern fittings, because pattern fittings would make a horseshoe, a U. And so I just don't, if the builder needs to tell you need to have some peace of mind about the kitchen island plumbing. Kitchen island plumbing doesn't look like it's set for pattern fittings, and so where's the air admittance valve? So if we have an air admittance valve, if that's what comes to pass, and I guess that's the conversation we should have when I come back for the inspection. And they're good. I mean, I like them. It's not like I don't, have anything against air admittance valves, but they're, they require just a little bit of maintenance. I wouldn't even call it maintenance, but we're missing our trim rings and stuff. I get it, the refrigerator's going here, but really, is that the most square box that they could cut in there? I mean, it almost looks like they tried. I mean, it's like somebody thinks they're Picasso or something. They're just not going to have a square box. They're going to blow it off because it's behind the refrigerator. It's a new house. Maybe you want, I don't know, so this is kind of interesting that the ice maker connector tray is, kind of crooked. It's kind of crooked. I'll get the rest of the kitchen here in a little bit. I kind of moved off of my pattern. Coming on along, and this is a good place to get started. To the best of my knowledge, this green is boride treatment, termite preventative. It's good that you have it here. To the best of my knowledge, it's not wrong. It's not wrong, but it's not necessary. You can see the boride treatment on the sole plates running around the bottom of here. See the boride treatment? All this is green, 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 green. It's on the exterior wall. That's why we want to treat it for termites. That's where that's where it's coming. It's really not a termite treatment. It's a termite preventative. It's not an actual treatment. It's a preventative. But then we come along in here, and this is the primary bedroom suite. That's what we call it this week. It used to be the master, and then they decided that was racist, and then they started calling it the owners, which, okay, whatever. Then for a short, brief period of time, a few of us, not all of us, nobody knows what to call it, okay, but a few of us were selling for parent bedroom. And now, that same small group is migrating towards primary. So this is the primary bedroom suite this week. That's what we're calling it this week. And when we go in here, and back to the boride treatment, the green, I'm not seeing boride treatment on these wall studs. What's that about? I mean, that is a wet wall, next to the exterior. I mean, if you needed it anywhere, I would think you'd need it next to your shower. Just saying. All right. And coming on along here, and this is just FYI, so this is insulated because it's next to the exterior wall where the termites would be. These pipes are on the interior wall, so they're not required to be. And then we have our regular plumbing underneath here, here, and here, and here. This is the drain line for the air conditioning system. The primary drain line, it comes in underneath the lavatory drain, and that's not unusual. So there it is. But what I haven't seen, not that it's required, but I'm not seeing a dilution valve. I'm not seeing a dilution valve. I think you're going to have a tankless water heater. It's going to deliver lots of hot water. Most of the time when someone has a tankless water heater, I'm in new construction, not existing, but it's not uncommon to find a dilution valve on the plumbing system. New construction, especially when they have tankless water heaters. And this home does not have that feature. This is the soil closet. Some people call it the commode closet because that's where the commode goes. Okay. Old school. I almost looked this guy up. Glavos Parka inspection. It says Glavos' nails. Okay. That's me. It's kind of get goofy. I get excited. Now, when I was in the attic, I was seeing light around two luminaries. I think it was these luminaries over and I thought it was the living room, gathering room, great room. I thought, but it looks like it's over the past the service bar, the kitchen island. Looks like that's where we're going to have, there's a little bit of light shining up through there. Coming on along in here, we're in the laundry area. And what we're going to be wanting to see is, well, for one thing, currently, now, to the newest version of the code, the clothes dryer 240 is supposed to be GFCI protected. I haven't seen one yet. I'm excited about that. I can't wait till I see my first one. All right, we're missing our trim ring, but we haven't finished it all out. And then the label here is supposed to be labeled. We're supposed to know how long the dryer vent goes, how many elbows, and how wide it is. So when you buy equipment, you can, budget for that. You can buy the right equipment that can go the length. That's what you're supposed to do. So it's when I come back, I'm going to be looking for that label to be filled out. I'm going to be looking for that label to be filled out for sure. Some of these things, when I come back, I won't be able to see, Here's one. I'll show you. I mean, the green boride treatment behind the shower, I won't be able to see that. It's a little exterior. I'm kind of mixing it up. All right. I won't know if these were ever pulled for tension. They just cut them and fill them and then put wood mulch in here, and I want to be able to see that form board. They'll just cover it up. put rain gutters up here and cover this up. But right here, that one right there, that little metal strip, that silver metal strip, that drip edge flashing right there between the shingles and the fascia, that silver thing right there, those butt ends are supposed to lap a minimum of 2 inches. That's about 1.5 inches. I'm picky. They'll fix it by putting a rain gutter over it. But it's not lapped properly. That's what I'm here for. Moving through. Past the laundry. Didn't mean to yank you around so much. I'm a yanker. Alright. Moving on along. This is the entry closet right here. At one point, this was the lowest area that I had measured. This is a kind of a mudroom area or something. It's probably going to be like a shoe garage. I don't know. And then it's a very interesting ladder. It's pretty cool, actually. This is the northeast bedroom. And this was the third one. I was seeing a little bit of daylight through that canister light in the attic. So there's 3 that I noticed some daylight through. And that might be acceptable. We're going to get some closure on that. Why I'm not seeing daylight anywhere else but those 3. Are they all supposed to have daylight in them? We need to start opening holes up? Or no, maybe not. But anyway, that's my question, inquiring minds and wanting to know. And the connectors, I painted those pink right there. Okay. And so you don't know this, but this is the last video I'm making for today. So this is the point where I'd like to say thank you very much for your business. Thank you very much for your trust. Again, I wish the conditions could have been more ideal, but if you still think that I did a good value for you, maybe a good Google shootout, that means everything to a small businessman like me. This is anything about this house, specific home inspections. I'm willing to talk to anybody, anytime, anywhere about anything having to do with home inspections. But this house, dear client, all right, if you've got any questions specific to this home, this inspection, this day, this address, our business, please, do not hesitate to reach out to me and call to discuss.